My thesis, entitled The Scientificity of the Arabic Language and its Influence in Europe and Worldwide, concerns with the importance of this language and its contribution given to several scientific disciplines. An Arabic language characteristic is the richness of the consonantal system composed of 28 letters plus the hamza, as opposed to the vowel system which is poor. This alphabet includes all classes of sounds, aspirated, glottal, and pharyngeal of Semitic languages. The Arabic language is a Semitic language belonging to the branch of Afro-Asiatic languages spoken in Africa and Asia. The main characteristic is their form composed almost exclusively of three consonantal roots. Through the study of the root, it is possible to get to the meaning of the word. Semitic languages are classified according to a geographical criterion: Eastern, Northwestern, and Southwestern Semitic. Modern Arabists divide the phases of the Arabic language into four categories: Classical Arabic, Modern Standard Arabic, Middle Arabic, and Neo-Arabic. The Arabic language was spread between the 7th and 12th centuries, riding on the great Islamic conquests, gradually spreading throughout the world. But how can we tell which countries are considered Arab? The answer is given through a linguistic criterion. The official language, or at least one of the official languages of a nation, must be necessarily Arabic. In addition, the Arab world has several nations that belong to an international political body called the League of Arab States, and its member states are around 20, plus the Union of the Commerce and the Palestinian Authority. But why is the Arabic language considered as a scientific language, and what are the contributions made in Europe and worldwide by the Arabs in order to develop the various disciplines in which they were pioneers? Let's start with arithmetic, which is considered as a scientific art. Khwarizmi edited a treatise entitled Al-Jabr wal-Muqabbala that became a landmark in the modern algebra development. Other Arab mathematicians include Abu Kamil Shukha ibn Aslam, considered one of the first to systematically use irrational numbers as solutions and the coefficients of equations. If we continue to talking about the field of arithmetic, we know that Arabic numbers were introduced in Europe during the 13th century AD, and we still use them today. Let's take a look at astronomy that was born in the period between 700 and 830 AD, during which many Persian and Indian texts were translated into Arabic. Arabic texts were an element of study for Latin astronomers throughout the Middle Ages, analyzing the results of observations, mathematical calculations of tables, theories concerning celestial phenomena explanations, or the functioning of some astronomy and astronomical navigation instruments. Even in the agronomic sector, the Arabs brought innovative knowledge such as qanat, which allowed the introduction of new crops on the island and the continuous agricultural yield improvements. In the technology field instead, we can remember a mechanical engineer and inventor named Al-Jazari, author of the most important treatise on mechanics in the Islamic world called the Book of Knowledge of Ingenious Mechanical Devices. Middle Eastern scientists and inventors built automated machines designed to ensure the survival of millions of people using a technology that will last for about 500 years. The Arabs pioneered specialized disciplines such as pharmacology, anatomy, and surgery. The introduction of Arab medicine is a real revolution symbolized by Constantine Africanus, a figure who marked the starting point for the restoration and renewal of European medicine. One of the best-known figures in the medical field who lived in ancient Persia in the 10th century is Ibn Sina, father of Arab medicine. His works include the Canon of Medicine and the Book of Healing, in Arabic Kitab al-Shifa. Pharmacology began to expand in the 9th century. We can remember the physician and translator Yohanna ibn Masawayh, initiator of the scientific and methodical application of medicines in the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, Baghdad. The Arabic pharmacopoeia introduced several simple and compound preparations into therapy. In the surgery field, al-Sahrawi is considered the most famous surgeon of Arab medicine. His great contribution to Arabic medicine is evidenced by his encyclopedia named Kitab al-Tasrif, consisting of 30 volumes known in English as The Method of Medicine. He was the inventor of several surgical instruments. Over 200 are described and illustrated in his Tasrif. In optics and ophthalmology, we must remember Ibn al-Haytham, known in the West as Al-Hasan, who laid the foundations of modern optics. The most famous work is the Book of Optics, in Arabic Kitab al-Manadir, composed by 7 volumes.